The sewing room is not just a place where you keep your threads and your fabrics, it's a space where little miracles occur. Do you want to discover them with me? I'm sure these little miracles are different to everyone, so stay with me, I'll tell you mine, and then you can tell me yours down in the comments. And if you're new around here, my name is Irene. I sew about anything: clothes, decoration, accessories, upcycling, mending, everything. So if you're new around here, consider subscribing, and that way you don't miss anything. Well, let me start by saying that having a sewing room is just a miracle on its own. All of us who are lucky enough to have a sewing room are very fortunate to have this space where creativity flows, where we can have anything done, and we're really lucky. And one thing that happens is that, like any other workshop, they are always untidy, they're always messy, there's threads around, and it's such a mess. But when it's tidy, that's my first miracle. When it's tidy, when you come in and everything is in its place, the floor is clear of threads and the machine is clean. That is just such a mental peace you can have to start your new project. When you have your project and a new piece of fabric and you start cutting it, that mixture of fear and excitement for the new project is amazing. It's like a little miracle, and I feel like the fear disappears as the scissor advances on your fabric. It's really nice, and it never really goes. That fear at the beginning never goes. With every project you always have a bit of it, but the excitement of the new project coming together, it can really make it happen. I guess it happens to all of us. Well, the sound that scissors make when I cut on the cutting table, it's amazing. Like songs, smells, sounds can always make you remember someone, make your memories clearer, and that for me reminds me of my grandmother. I remember how she used to cut her fabrics on the dining room table, and it's like she's with me when I cut my fabrics, so it's really nice. And one thing I've always found relaxing, I don't know why, is sewing at night. Maybe it has to do with the fact that during the day you're always your eye is always on the clock to see how long you're taking and what you have to do next. And maybe at night you don't. At night I know I have maybe until 12, and that way I just sew. It's true that it has many disadvantages because it's much better to sew with natural daylight, but it's really relaxing and comforting. Does it happen to you? And one thing I cannot really do because I'm filming myself, but I really enjoy, is sewing, listening to music, listening to podcasts, or to your favorite program. It's really relaxing. It makes you feel that you're with someone, and it's really entertaining as well. And with music you can end up just singing or dancing along with while you stitch something, and it's really nice. I'm sure you all listen to someone when sewing. And I've always said that when I have a project in mind, I always sew in my head, like during the day, I dream about the project, what I'm going to do, the steps I'm going to follow. And sometimes you get stuck and you don't know how to do something, how to turn something inside out or do some lining or something like that. And when that moment clears up and you get the idea of the century. And all of a sudden, you know the solution, that revealing moment, it's amazing. That is one of the best feelings ever. When that comes to you, it's amazing. And of course, sewing it and making it happen. But that little bit of excitement, that adrenaline, it's such a rush. And I have here my grandma's pattern magazines. They are from the late 80s and early 90s, and I love having a look at them. I also say that I prefer making my own patterns. I prefer drafting my own patterns because they will fit you better. They are your measurements and they will fit much nicer. But having a look at this always gives you ideas of what to do, or maybe what steps to follow on a project. So it's always nice, it's always comforting, and I always enjoy it. And for me, having a coffee in the middle of the project, when you have everything on the table, you have cut stuff, you are reviewing the steps you're gonna follow, having that sip of coffee is just marvelous. It's heavenly, and it makes you go on. It makes the coming back to the project easier. And when you're sewing and you have just enough thread to finish your sewing, it's just amazing. Because sometimes you start sewing, you go on, and you don't realize that the bobbin has run out, and it's so frustrating. It doesn't really matter because you just have to put more thread in and keep on sewing. But it's really frustrating having to stop and do all that and come back to your sewing. So when you have just enough to finish your sewing, it's amazing. It's like winning the lottery, really. And after all the possible problems you could have with your sewing machine, after overcoming the fear of cutting the fabric, after all these little things and the hours invested in the project, finishing that project is just an amazing feeling. It's a miracle on its own. All the steps you have followed, all the time, all the thinking, all the hours, it's just amazing. It's the best feeling ever, and it's what keeps us going. I'm sure there are 1,000 more miracles you can tell me about, and please do down in the comments. I read you and we can talk about them. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here, and that way you don't miss anything, because here we sew.